hello everyone, and welcome to the City Managers Forum. We've got a lot of exciting things to talk about this time, and happy to say that we've got a lot going on at the city. So throughout the program, we're going to have a lot of our staff members and partners kind of sharing some information about what's happening in their area and some of the cool things that are going on right now in the community. But first, I'd kind of like to talk about some of the projects that are happening out at Municipal Services. And we're about 13 months removed from the tornado that came through and hit us last year on May 24th. And it's been a long year for our folks out there at Municipal Services, at the animal shelter, a lot of the youth sports, because there's been a lot of rebuilding that's been necessary. And as you can imagine, we had to go through a lot of red tape and a lot of hoops to get things going. You know, first there was the insurance companies, then the State Department of Emergency Management, then FEMA, then going through the bids and getting things contracted. It's just, it's been a long year, and our folks have done a great job getting everything going and still making sure that they are out there providing the services that you guys use each and every day in your lives. So just a little bit of an update, and we'll talk about the animal shelter a little bit later, because I know that's the one that a lot of people have been watching very closely. But for our Municipal Services buildings, for those of you who may not remember, our maintenance shop, where they do all the vehicle maintenance and they stage a lot of the equipment and get ready to go out and do jobs, got completely blown away in the May 24th tornado. And that really slowed them down, obviously, because they have nowhere to work. So they've been in temporary housing, and we're happy to say that construction has started on that facility, and we hope that it's only just a few more months before we get out there and get back to our normal living conditions. And also, in the same time, 2 of the equipment sheds that they use to store the heavy equipment and the machinery and some of the pipes and all of that, they also got completely blown away. So those are on a second project, but the foundations have been pouring for those, and right now that's getting going, and things are very exciting. Another exciting project that's happening out in the world of municipal services is the CMOM project. And I'm sure you guys remember us. We've been talking about this for over 2.5 years because it's been a big project that's happened at the city of Guthrie, and that's the rehab and repair of 33,000 linear feet of our sewer line. And if you recall, we've had major issues over the past decade of sewer overflows that have been happening in neighborhoods, and you know, the sewer system getting backed up and flowing into the streets and in the yards. That's a big time no-no with the DEQ. So we were put under a consent order with the DEQ and said, you guys need to go fix those problems. And what they said to us is that you need to fix the areas where you have repeat offenses, where basically if there's one location and that area overflows more than one time in a calendar year, you have to do whatever you can to fix that. So we had to go around and fix all of those. And so it ended up in a huge project that's been going on for several years now, and that is coming to a close. And I'm very, very happy to say that that project was done on time and under budget. We didn't tap into the contingency budget at all on that project, so the City Council was able to extend a change order for them to incorporate some of the second-tier lines in a project. You know, we took care of the worst, but there's still a lot of sewer lines that need to be completed, and so with the money savings that we had by really working with the contractor and doing a good job to watch over the contract money, we're able to do more in the project than we originally thought possible. And what's really cool about it is we're actually starting to see results. At the height of our offenses, we were seeing 50 to 70 overflows a year. And these were extremely expensive to clean up. It was costing the taxpayers a lot of money, and it was getting us in trouble with the regulatory agencies. We just reviewed our stats, and over the last year, we're happy to say we only had to report 4 sanitary sewer overflows. So it's very good on a project like this that may not have the dazzle or the excitement of something like a road or a park or something like that, but it is really good to see that we're getting results from those projects. Those aren't the only construction projects that are going on right now around town. We're doing a lot of improvements out at the airport, and the airport is a great partnership with us and the City of Edmond, and we've also got a great partnerships with our aviation regulatory agencies at the state and federal level. So to talk about what's going on and some of the projects that are upcoming at the airport, let me turn it over to Justin Heid.
Thanks, man. Again, I'm Justin Heid, Director of Guthrie Edmond Regional Airport. We're gearing up for the summer and some major construction projects that we'll be working on. The 4 phases of construction that we will be doing in anticipation will be beginning in late July and provide the airport with improvements both in the air and on the ground. These projects will be able to accommodate and hangar more aircraft than we have ever hangared before. Phase 1 will be the wiring to the precision approach path indicators. This will be replaced in the first phase. This will be involving trenching in the safety areas of the runways and some boring under the runways in order to replace the non-functioning wiring. Due to the critical nature of work in and around the runways, it is expected there will be a few days where the runway will be closed to traffic, but the majority of days it will be opened in to aircraft with no issue. Phase 2 Taxiway Charlie will be shut down due to the major construction required on the deterioration and aging of the taxiway. This will greatly affect areas to the west of the taxiway and the hangars associated with that. Phase 3 will be the intersection of Taxiway Charlie and Taxiway Delta construction. This will allow for larger aircraft into the northwest development area, which will be capable of increasing the overall capacity of the airport by 30 to 60%. Phase 4 will be the construction of the northwest development area, and the initial construction of it will begin in late November and December timeframe. This will lay out a taxiway structure in such a way that new hangars may be built in the near future. This will greatly increase the amount of aircraft that the airport will be able to accommodate, and due to the construction, that area in Taxiway Delta will be closed for approximately 90 days. Guthrie Edmond Regional Airport will be undergoing these major constructions through the rest of the year, but once complete, it will provide increased opportunity for the local economies through increased usage and development of infrastructure. Again, I'm Justin Heid with Guthrie Edmond Regional Airport, and back to you, Matt.
Thank you, Justin. That's very exciting. There's a lot of cool stuff going on at the airport right now, and I do have to say that we're very excited about having Justin on staff. He's only been here for a few months now, but he's really hit the ground running, and I think he's going to do awesome things for the Guthrie community, so we're very lucky to have him on board. Now, before we get too far into the information, I want to remind everyone that you can start sending in questions to me. You can start sending your questions to forum@cityofguthrie.com. And I'll get to those questions live on the air in just a few minutes. So anything you want to ask, any questions that you may have, send them in and we'll do our best to give you an answer. I also want to remind everyone that you can send in your guesses for the Where's the Mayor contest. And the person who first guesses correctly of the mayor's secret hidden location, you're going to win a prize. So in case you need a refresher, let's see the mayor's video for this month.
Chuck, thanks for bringing me out today. What are we out here for other than catching fish?
Well, we're going to catch some of the biggest fish that's in this pond right here.
Are we really?
Yeah, and you know this pond, we're going to do Where's the Mayor? And here we are.
And here we are.
Here we are.
Great afternoon.
Oh, yeah. Great afternoon with good friends. You can't beat that, my friend.
Any day's fishing better than working, isn't it?
The worst day fishing is better than the
best day of working?
That's what I was trying to say.
That's where I
was going with that. You know, Don, Where's the Mayor? We've been around water the last time, and this is another. This is a lake. I know you can throw a small rock across it, but this is a lake. And this is what we want people to come up with, Where's the Mayor? Now, you know, this little lake here is around one of our city parks. In 1947, the Guthrie Sportsman's Club, Guthrie Sportsman Club had a fishing derby here every year.
Wow.
Big deal for the kids.
Yeah.
Big deal for the kids. And kids would just line this bank to catch one. And Bill Nelson was part of that bunch. Jack Hurley was part of that bunch. Jack Cahill was part of that bunch of the city leaders. You know, Don, back then, if there was a cause, the community come together, whether there was to build Jelsman Stadium. The owners of businesses, whether it was a shoe store or sporting goods, they just bought in to make it a better deal. You know, so this lake was built, and that's what we're going to be looking for on Where's the Mayor. And like I say, it's in one of our city parks, and it was designed just for youth fishing.
I'm glad you asked me to come out today.
Well, we've talked about this for a long time.
Yep, we have.
But you know, Don, the mayor's contest is basically just a setup for informational stuff. Yeah, it's a setup for Matt's City Managers Forum the last Thursday of each month. And that's just a great time for you to find out what's going on in the community and where this community is trying to go. And just to be informed. Don't listen to what somebody tells you when you're getting your hair cut necessarily, but this gives us an opportunity to know what's going on, and then you can call and put your input. Maybe you'd like to see something done different. If you got a good idea, I've known that young man long enough, if it's a good idea and it'll work, we might have to change direction or something. We try to let people know what we're doing and why we're having to do it. So, you know, I used to come out here and fish when I was a kid, and there were so many fish in this pond, you had to hide behind a tree to bait your hook. Yeah, there's a lot of fish in there.
Sounds like a fishtail to me.
No. Now I'll tell you a fishtail. You know, my dad was a great fisherman. We talked about that. He had a feller come to him in the barber shop, matter of fact, said he caught a 12-pound bass in a local farm pond here in Logan County. And the lantern fell in the water. And Dad was down there 2 weeks later and hung something on that bridge. And he pulled it up, and it was that lantern, and it was still lit. Yeah, that guy said, "Oh, come on." And Dad said, "I'll tell you what, you take 5 pounds off that fish and I'll blow that lamp out." There's your fish.
There's a fish story. There's a fish story.
And that's what you're out here for.
Yep.
Tell them stories.
Yep.
You'll go back home and start fishing for lanterns.
I think I'm getting a bite.
Are you?
Look, that barber's just jumping up and down.
You are. Well, you know, we want to know, Don, the name. They're calling it a lake, but it's just a big pond. But we want to know, that's what the answer is to where's the mayor. It's in one of our city parks, so that ought to give you a hint.
That's right.
And we're going to find out in a minute what the gift's going to be for figuring out where's the mayor. And until then, keep the corners of your mouth up.
Hi, I'm Johnny with Johnny Boy's Concessions in Guthrie, Oklahoma at 108 East Oklahoma Avenue. I've been in Guthrie for 25 years.
Johnny's Concessions is proud to be a sponsor of the City Managers Forum. And if you can guess where the mayor is this month, you'll receive a lunch or dinner for two at the restaurant. Now remember, you can only send in your guests at 9:30 a.m. on June 28th during the City Managers Forum.
I want to introduce you to my granddaughter, Christina, and I want to introduce you to my great-granddaughter, Ryan. They're here to take your order and to make sure it's done right.
Good luck, and we'll see you next time right here at Johnny's Concessions.
All right, I want to give a big thank you to Johnny Boy's Concessions for being our sponsor, and good luck to all of you guys guessing where the mayor's secret location is. And you know, is it just me, or does it seem like he has a lot of fun making those videos? I think it's probably the best part of his month. I don't know. Well, let's shift gears here a little bit and talk about something else that's coming up this summer. And we've had a lot of exciting things that have gone on in Guthrie, and we talked about last month all the Get Fit Guthrie activities. And we even talked about this event a little bit, but we've had the freewheel bike tour come through, we've had the C-Spot run, we've had Bike to Work Day, just a lot of excellent activity that's happening around town, and we're very excited that this year we're going to host the first annual First Capital Triathlon. That's going to be a partnership between the City of Guthrie, the Chamber of Commerce, the local YMCA, and this event's going to be held July 21st, and it's going to be a sprint triathlon consisting of a 500-meter swim out in Guthrie Lake, a 12.5-mile bike, and then a 5K run. And yes, you have to do all of it together in that order, swim, bike, run. But we're very excited about this event. We already know a lot of local people that are going to get involved and do their first triathlon. That's very exciting. And then we're also very excited because we think it's going to bring a lot of people in from out of town. And anytime we have the opportunity to bring people from out of town in to see our wonderful community, we like to, because we're very proud of what we have here and we like to show it off. So that's just one great event coming up, but let's talk about a few more. But to do it justice, let's turn it over to our Chamber CEO, Mary Coffin.
Hi, I'm Mary Coffin with the Chamber of Commerce here in Guthrie, and I'd like to invite you to our farmers market that we have every Saturday from 8 until noon. It's on 1st Street in between Harrison Avenue and Oklahoma Avenue. What we have is we have a variety of local farmers that come out and bring their produce that's fresh from the garden. They've got anywhere from green beans, potatoes, corn, They've got squash, cucumbers, great tomatoes, straight off the vine. We also have crafters that are down at the farmer's market also with yard art. They have homemade chalkboards. There's a lot of things for the kids to play with. There's jewelry, just all sorts of different crafts that we have available to you. Please come and join the farmer's market every Saturday. We'll be looking forward to seeing you. Another event we have in July is the Backyard Bash, better known as the Children's Festival. It will be held down at Cottonwood Flats, and Pastor Bill Williams from Community Church, and he'll tell you all about it.
Hello, my name's Bill Williams, and I'm pastor at Community Church. But I'm a part of a lot of churches and businesses that are getting together this summer, as we've done for the last 6 years, and an event is called the Children's Festival. It is the last Friday and Saturday of July. It's I believe I've got it here, it's the 27th and 28th. It's from 5 to 9 in the evening. And we invite kids up through 6th grade and their families to come out. There's inflatables, there's live music, there's all kinds of free food and activities, face painting, clowns, you name it. There's a lot of fun there, and it's all free. Why? To pull the town together, to bring businesses and churches and just the whole community together around what's important to us. Of course, that's children. And so we invite you to come out. It'll be a fun time. And if you need more information, you can go to childrensfestival.info. It's going to be a great time, and we look forward to seeing you there. Back to you, Matt.
Thanks, Bill. That sounds like a great event. I'm sure the community is really going to enjoy, and if it's anything like previous years, there's going to be a lot of participation and a lot of involvement. And another thing I think the community is really going to enjoy is celebrating our country's independence. And it's that time of year where it's 4th of July, very exciting, barbecues and fireworks and watermelon and pools, all the cool stuff that goes along with it. It's summertime at its best. So to hear a little bit about 4th of July and some safety tips that go along with it, let's turn it over to everybody's fan favorite, Chief Eric Harlow.
Thanks, Matt. I'm Eric Harlow, Fire Chief for the City of Guthrie. Here to talk to you a little bit about 4th of July and fireworks safety. Use common sense. Spectators should keep a safe distance from the shooter, and the shooter should always wear safety glasses or some kind of protection for their eyes. Fireworks are for outdoor use only. Remember, you must get a permit if you live within the city limits of Guthrie in order to discharge fireworks. You can get this permit at City Hall during normal business hours. The permit is only valid on July 3rd, 4th, and 5th from the hours of 12 o'clock p.m. to 11 o'clock p.m. Always have some kind of a water source handy when you're shooting fireworks, whether that be a water hose, a fire extinguisher, or just a bucket of water. Only use fireworks as they're intended. Don't try to alter them or combine them or tape several of them together or even explode fireworks that you've already used once. Never relight a dud firework. Allow them to sit undisturbed for at least 20 to 30 minutes and then douse it with a bucket of water. As always, have fun, be safe. If you have any questions, feel free to call us up here at the fire station at 282-4433. Have a good 4th. Thanks, Matt. Back to you.
Thanks, Eric, and I hope everyone has a very, very fun, safe, happy 4th of July. So, one of the things that happens, it's starting to get to be the heat of the summer. July and August are very hot months. A lot of times we have drought, and so, a lot of times water is an issue. Now, we don't think we're going to have any problems with water supply. We don't have any plans to ration. We think our water supply is looking good. The water treatment plant is doing great. But a lot of people get surprised by the cost of their water bills, especially in the summer. And I know, for me, the first time I ran my sprinkler when I bought my house, I was really surprised at how much that thing could put out. So it's always kind of good to think about some water conservation tips in the heat of the summer so that you can protect your pocketbook a little bit. And one of them has to do with our yards. A lot of people, if you're like me, you kind of like to mow the grass really, really short so you don't have to get to it as often. But sometimes that can cause some problems with the need for more watering. If you leave it cut about 3 inches, if you cut it about the 3-inch mark, then generally it doesn't take as much water and it's able to get stronger roots so that it doesn't require as much watering. When you do water your grass, remember most of us probably have Bermuda grass, and it needs about 1 inch of water a week to really stay healthy. And sometimes it'll get a little bit brown, but that's not really bad with Bermuda. It's not dying. It's just it's kind of gonna do that. So as long as it gets about an inch of water a week, it's probably good. And if you're watering your yard, if you've got a sprinkler system or if you put a sprinkler out there, some things to remember is the best time to water is early in the morning. You don't want to water during the heat of the day because you're going to lose a lot of water through evaporation. The heat's just going to suck it up. And so, and then if you water at night, sometimes you have issues of growing fungus or other problems in the grass. So the best time of day to water your yard is in the morning. And another thing to look for is make sure and look for leaks. You know, make sure that you're looking for leaks throughout your house. Don't leave drippy faucets going. You know, test your toilet. If there's a toilet that's running just a little bit, I've learned the hard way before that just a small leak in a toilet can really up that water usage and cost you a lot on your monthly utility bill. And if you see someone in your neighborhood who may have a broken sprinkler head, a leaky hydrant or something like that, make sure and let them know, or if it's something on the city's side, if you see a water leak, make sure and let us know so we can do our best to conserve water ourselves. Another thing to think of is turn off the water. Whenever you're, whenever you're brushing your teeth or shaving or rinsing fruit and vegetables, you'd be surprised at how much water you can lose by just leaving the faucet on. So do things like fill the sink up with water when you're shaving. Turn the water off when you're brushing your teeth. Put your fruits and vegetables in a bowl full of water rather than running underneath the water. And one other final tip, and this is directed right at my wife. So Rachel, if you're listening, this is for you. Take shorter showers. You can always, help your water usage by taking a shorter shower. So yes, Rachel, an hour-and-a-half shower is not needed. All right, we're going to talk now about some other summertime tips, and to do that, we're going to turn it over to our police chief, Damon Devereaux. Chief, it's over to you.
Thanks, Matt. You know, as everybody knows, it's that time of year when the summer sun is in full effect and activities are all over the place. And I'm here to talk to you today about keeping your pets, your kids, and your family safe during the summer months. So let's get into the safety tips. Humans and animals alike need to have plenty of hydration during the summer months. It's best to drink plenty of water throughout the day instead of just when you get thirsty. When we are out in the sun, make sure we are protected by using sunscreen, especially our children and infants. Any skin exposed to the sun needs to be protected. When your pets are outside, make sure they have a shaded area where they can get relief from the sun. Do not, under any circumstances, leave your pets or children unattended in an automobile. Vehicle temperatures can almost double the outside temperature in a matter of minutes during the summer months, which can be fatal to anyone, especially your pets and children. I'm Police Chief Damon Devereaux reminding you to stay safe this summer. Matt, back to you.
Thanks, Chief. We really appreciate that. And while we're talking about public safety and safety tips, one thing to always be aware of in the summer, right now it's that time of year where you've got a lot of different kind of vehicles on the road, sharing them with cars. You know, motorcycles and bicyclists right now is the perfect time of year for them to get out and really go out there and explore their hobby. So make sure that when you're on the road, you're looking out for motorcyclists and bicyclists. And something you may not be aware of is bicyclists have the same laws, they have to follow the same rules of the road as any other car. But also what that means is that you have to follow the same rules of the road when dealing with them. So you're always supposed to give a minimum of 3 feet passing distance for a bicyclist whenever you're going around them. And cyclists, remember that you have to stop at stop signs and you have to follow the rules of the road as well. Never ride more than 2 abreast, and always make sure and be careful. Well, I talked earlier, I mentioned the animal shelter, and that's something that was also affected by the tornado. And we're very excited that the animal shelter is newly renovated, they're moving in, and things are really good out there. They've got a nice new facility that they're moving into. So let's turn it over to Suzy Brown to talk a little bit about that.
Hi, I'm Suzy Brown. As you can see, we're moved into our new animal shelter. It's going to be a mess for a little while. We're trying to get it all moved in. We're located at 415 West Commerce Boulevard, which is 2.2 miles west of Division and Noble. We're open every day except Sunday from 1 to 4 for the adoption process. Our adoption process is simple. It only takes a few minutes, a driver's license, and of course our $25 adoption fee. If the animals are not spay or neutered, this is a refundable bond. If they are spay and neutered, it is not refundable. We have a variety of animals from little bitty Chihuahuas to Great Dane Lab mixes. We would love to send everyone home a forever pet. We're very fortunate to have had a huge donation from the PetFinder.com Foundation and the Animal Rescue site. They purchased $10,000 worth of cat cages, our washer, our dryer, our refrigerator, the furry beds that you see in their cages, and a multitude of other things, including a meet and greet area on the hill where potential adopters can meet a new pet and spend some time with them to see if they're going to work out for their family. We are really grateful to PetFinder.com Foundation and the Animal Rescue site for choosing us for this great donation. I'm Suzy Brown from the Animal Shelter. Back to you, Matt.
All right, well now it's the time of the month where everyone can find out where the mayor is hiding. And this month he was at the fishing pond at Highland Park, which the mayor always corrects me and tells me that it's a lake, not a pond. And our winner this month was William Craigett. So congratulations, William. You have just won lunch or dinner from Johnny Boy's Concessions. So we'll get with you and let you know how you can get your prize, and you can enjoy some good onion burgers or a funnel cake or something like that. So, all right, well, let's get to a couple of questions that we've got. The first one says, I've read that the city is working on a budget. Is the budget going to be tight this year? You know, we've seen some better numbers with our sales tax this month. The last few months actually have been up, so we're a little bit encouraged. We think the economy is getting stronger from a retail perspective because we're seeing a lot more people obviously shopping here in Guthrie as our numbers go up, but we're still very cautious. There's still a lot of uncertainty in the economy. There's a lot of ups and downs right now that we're seeing, and with us being an organization where our only source of taxation is sales tax, that it's very volatile. So we always take a very conservative approach to the budget to make sure that we don't have to make significant mid-year adjustments and affect our level of service. So we think it's going to be pretty good, but we're definitely being cautious, and it's definitely not going to be an extravagant budget. It's going to have, the bare necessities that it takes for us to provide the level of service to you, and then hopefully some of the things we need to do from a maintenance and equipment perspective that can keep us moving forward. I've got another question. It says, I've also heard talks of a stabilization fund. What is that? A stabilization fund is basically a reserve fund or a rainy day fund. This is something that the city of Guthrie has never had. And our financial consultants and a lot of financial consultants recommend that a organization have, around 16% of their operating dollars put back in a reserve in case of an emergency. And a prime example of a type of emergency that could be necessary for this is continuing operations like like we saw after the tornadoes last year. That put a significant dent in what we were doing. Fortunately, we had some money set aside that hadn't been spent yet that we could put up front until we got our reimbursements from FEMA and the Oklahoma Department of Emergency Management. So a stabilization fund, the City Council is really wanting to work on the long-term financial foundation of the city and help us get in a position where we're not going to be scrambling every time there's a dip in the economy, and to do that we need a conservative fund. So that's something that the council is working on right now, is establishing that stabilization fund. Another question I got was, let's see. They ask, why have they discontinued describing the items on the agenda? Saying items A, B, C, D, etc. doesn't tell anything. I assume that what you're referring to is the consent agenda at the city council meetings, and the consent agenda is items that are generally of a routine business type of item, or it's not an ordinance, it's not a resolution. And the reason why they do it is just a lot of them are routine, so going through them and reading every one, the council feels that the agenda is put out there in enough places. Every item is described in the weekly update each week in detail. Every item, the agenda is available on the website, the agenda is available on Facebook, the agenda is available at City Hall, and so the items are very easy for our citizens to access, and the information, we're very forthcoming with the information. So it's just a procedural thing. It makes it easier to get through the consent agenda, limits the wording that the mayor has to read, and and every item on there, any one of the city council members can pull any of those items for a different discussion anyway. So that's really why, obviously the information is out there. We're very forthcoming with the information. You can make sure and get that agenda before you if you're watching it on TV. And I assume that's kind of where this question is coming from, that people in the audience generally have the agenda, and so they're able to look at the agenda items as they're going through them, saying consent items A through G, or however it's presented at the time. But the agendas are available to people at home as well, because if you're watching online or if you're watching on Channel 20, you can easily get those agendas several days before the meeting itself. All right, well, let's look through here and see if we have any other questions. I'm not seeing any, so we're excited to say that the contest for next month, the winner will receive a 1-hour courtesy flight from Crabtree Aviation. So that's quite an exciting prize. And so to figure out what you need to do to win that prize, let's take a look at the mayor's new video. So have a small drum roll and then the world premiere of the Where's the Mayor video. See you next month.
Early morning in Guthrie and the wind's already blowing. You know, I only got about 12 hairs on my head and 5 of them's blowing pretty good right now. You know, I love this time of the morning. The world hadn't had a chance to get mad at itself, and we're going to do a little bit of Where's the Mayor? And I got my buddy Don with me. This just works so good. I mean, I enjoy having Don with me anytime, and we kind of play off each other, and I really enjoyed the time spent with Pastor Don Reepy. He's a good, quality Christian friend, and you always got to enjoy that.
Well, thank you, thank you.
Don, we're going to talk about automobiles today.
That's one of my favorite subjects outside of the Lord.
We do some of that, don't we?
Yeah.
We do some of that. What we're going to talk about is where I'm at first, and then we're going to talk about cars in Guthrie.
Okay,
you know, and I think that's a great part. The building you see in our background was owned by a man named John, and I'm not going to tell you the last name.
Okay.
He had 5 sons and a daughter. Eventually, they took over his dealership. You know what I'm wanting to know about this building?
Yeah. Do you want to know the name of the family that owned this dealership?
Right. That's right. 3-decade family-owned car dealership. Back in the day, it was a car country.
Oh,
car company.
Car company.
Back in the day, it was a car company.
Okay.
And they pretty well had these intersections sewed up.
Yeah.
You know,
3 corners. 3.
Incredible building. It really is an incredible building. You know, big showroom.
Still a good-looking building.
Yeah. It stayed in. Across the street was a used car lot. It's funny. We got a picture of the used car lot, and there was some 58s in there in the lot, and some 59 Chevys.
That's good.
And the guy standing out in front of them. You know? So that was a cool deal.
If you had all those cars now, it'd be a gold mine.
Oh, every one that we've all walked away from. I sold cars for $85, big old lead sled Buicks for $75, and I was broke as a church mouse, you know, and they probably needed an alternator, you know.
Yeah.
Now we could have stood on our head and done that. But
yeah. My first car was a 50 Mercury.
Is that right?
Yeah.
They were bad.
They were bad.
49, 50 Mercury.
Yeah,
I wish I still. A lot of them tops.
Yeah, they did.
Top the tops.
Yeah,
Got to wear out of a windshield about that big.
Mine was a dark green. It looked like a watermelon going down the road. That's what I thought when I was driving it.
Rolling melon.
I didn't know they was going to be so popular. I'd have kept the thing.
And you didn't know you was going to like watermelons.
No. Yeah, those were good days.
Yeah. You know what I'm wanting to know about this building?
Yeah. Do you want to know the name of the family that owned this dealership?
Right. That's right. In a little while, they're going to tell where we're going to be, what the winner's going to get. Keep the corners of your mouth up.
Crabtree Aviation and Aircraft is proud to be a sponsor of the City Managers Forum. If you can guess where the mayor is this month, you'll win a courtesy 1-hour flight across the Logan County landscape from our good friends at Crabtree Aircraft and Aviation.